So just bring your hands together and we'll just tune in so we can begin our practice. Inhale. Exhale. Line the spine, shoulders rolled back and down, chin slightly tucked in, open the heart, soften the belly and thighs. Inhale. Exhale. And just begin to connect to the three gunas. So we have the animal self, which is the navel, the human self, which is the heart, and just we have the angel self, which is the third eye. And then we can go up to the 10th gate, which is the emergence, right, of the animal, the human, and the angel self. We call that the violet flame, right? We think of the violet flame in the Saint Germain as a pure alchemical sort of gold ray essence of ourselves, where we're in the most authentic embodiment of our creation, where we've sort of digested and transmuted and eliminated a lot of these beliefs and programs that are based off of separating ourselves from who we are, and really develop craftsmanship. When you think of craftsmanship, you think of gold, right? Usually craftsmanship, these people have like gold chains, bangles, gold jewelry, which is a symbol of their royalty, the way that they have high quality work, right? They have high quality work. They revere the earth, right? They have great respect with the earth. They're in awe of the earth. They're deeply inspired, and that's why their creativity is prolific, because they're moving the earth channel through their body. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Now press the tongue on the roof of the mouth, squeeze root lock. Spiral the energy up the spine, out the top of the head into the aura, and see the gold of the spine, the serpent dance of the spine, the Shiva and Shakti frequencies of the masculine and feminine. And then the aura, see the aura 1 inch thick with blue, royal blue flame, like a dragon's flame. Exhale, inhale, and see the left side of the body with the moon. See the right side of the body with the sun, and see the sun and the moon sort of orbiting the planet that is you, the flesh, the physical that is you. The Sushmana channel, which is from the perineum going straight up the spine, right between the breast, the chest, right up the sternum, the thymus gland, which is seen as your inner child, your youth, seen as your memory of your evolution and your greater essence of you, all the way to the soft spot of the baby's head, the top of the head, which is an entryway and an exit point. Exhale, and then we'll inhale to chant. Hold the breath, see the geometry of you and your higher consciousness, your more intergalactic consciousness, the interstellar that can travel through black holes, travel into other planetary systems, through the geometry of the esoteric map-making code. Exhale. And then visualize 4 pillars of light around you. And then with each sound, you're going to move your awareness to the right, behind you to the left, ahead of you, and you're going to spin it clockwise, very fast, seeing the royal blue flame going very fast around you. Inhale to begin, protection mantra. Argare name, jigargare name, sargare name, siri gare name. Argare name, jigargare name, sargare name, siri gare name. Argare name, jigargare name, sargare name, siri gare name. Exhale. Bring your hands to Gyan Mudra on your knees and begin a breath of fire. So breath of fire is an even inhale, exhale through the nose. You're just energizing the system. Inhale. Hold the breath, squeeze up and in, balance both the masculine and the feminine force within you. See the hemispheres of the brain coming into a neutral position, that center point. We think of that center point, right, going down the top of the head, that's the soft spot of a baby's head, going directly to that pituitary gland. Exhale. And then we're going to come into cat-cow so that we can begin to really open up the spinal fluid, so we can feel now the harmonization between the upper body and the lower body. What lower body is masculine, chakra system is masculine is the lower body, feminine is the upper body. And the movement between the lower body and the upper body is the sort of dance between the masculine force and the feminine force. Masculine is planetary, earthbound, science, applied science. And the ascending force, the upper body, is the feminine, the high priestess, the celestial realms, the interstellar consciousness coming together. Man becomes quite heartfelt, and woman becomes quite a manifester. So when you inhale, open the throat, working with the thyroid, which is your voice to speak your truth. My butt's kind of, tailbone's going up as though my dog tail is going straight out. And then I round the back, activating the navel like a crunch to really awaken the heartbeat at the belly. And really breathe powerfully through the nose. Inhale. Press the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Squeeze, root lock, sex organ, navel to spine. Activate the pituitary gland through your imagination. Exhale, round the back. Squeeze pelvic forward and up. Bring that chin towards the navel. And then breathe long and deep. Come into child's pose. Bring your hands in prayer. And then set your intention for your MERKABA. What is your intention for direction for the MERKABA? The spin, the alchemical force, is power, spiritual power, to will yourself, to visualize, to enhance, to refine, to organize, to help you manifest. What is the manifestation? You can do this many times. You can start small. You can move more into purpose. You want to focus on your purpose, your creativity, your craftsmanship, and the expansion of that, the evolution of that, the fulfillment of your creativity. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands beside you, kind of like you're in a sphinx and your knees are out, and you're going to bring your forehead to the earth. Bring your palms to the ground. And then just come up, inhale. Exhale, come down. So it's like doing the back bend. Bringing the elbows off the ground, really stretching. Inhale. Just kind of come up. Come onto your knees. Sit on your knees and just project from the third eye out. Bring your hands in your lap. I have left over right. Just use your imagination to visualize the masculine and the feminine sort of moving like this through the body, like this, going up, going down. So you can even move your hands to help your imagination. So bring your left hand up, that's the feminine channel. Bring your right hand down, that's the masculine channel. So a lot of times we receive, right, from the left side of the body, right? And a lot of times the right hemisphere of the brain, right? We receive, and then the right side of the body and the left hemisphere of the brain, we embody, we integrate, we kind of build, we shape our lives around that information, that insight, that vision we've had. So then you see, kind of move your hands as you kind of visualize the Sushmana channel, which is the center channel. We can call it the spit, the rod. And see your whole spine like a conductor rod, or I like to say Nikola Tesla coil, the Tesla coil. And the coil, you know, is like a rod that kind of is in the ground, plugged into the earth. And the movement, the coil, is the earth, the conducting, you know, the conductor, right? The kind of rod. It channels the energy from the earth, right? And it kind of moves it through its body, through like a coil, right? And then it kind of distributes it out the rod, right, into the atmosphere. And our atmosphere is like our aura. And that atmosphere, that I like to say that electricity that's channeled from the earth, it becomes this sort of electromagnetic energy. And the pyramids in the ancient past that are all over this planet, north, south, east, west, all hemispheres of this planet, they were designed to help stabilize the electromagnetic field of the earth. They're massive conductors in which they kind of, they bring up energy from deeper earth, they channel it, the Tesla coil, and then they distribute it into the atmosphere, like our aura, that creates electromagnetic field. And the stronger the electromagnetic field is, right, the spinning of the MERKABA, right, the more alchemical it is. Therefore, it can take out toxins, it can eliminate, it can create protection, but it also can create a great field of receiving higher vibrational energies. So just use your imagination, kind of feel the dance, the Shakti and Shiva dance, as you're moving the left and right hand, and kind of getting to know your own inner masculine and feminine force, and how they're both needed to create a stable electromagnetic field of the human body. When we have a strong electromagnetic field, we have a stronger magnetism and a radiance, then our manifestations materialize quite effortlessly, quite direct, because we're clear. The more clear we become, the more direct our manifestation language becomes. And therefore, we don't need to spend years and years. It becomes quite automatic, quite hyper-synchronicitive. And then inhale, exhale. And then we're going to do the short little Kriya for really connecting to the equalizing of the spine. So you're going to come your chest on the earth. I don't have much space, but I will do my best. And you're going to press your heart to the earth. It's going to really open up your armpits. You may even feel the thyroid really crack open. You may even feel a lot of emotions or even hormonal adjustment happening. And then you're going to bring your legs up and just kind of like kick your feet up, down, up, down. Inhale, bring your feet down, exhale, come up onto your back. You're gonna cross your legs like you do a woman at a tea party. So, right over left, just relax your hands down and just kind of kick it up and down. And then inhale, exhale, switch. Then inhale, exhale, relax your legs down. And then while your whole body's relaxed on the ground, begin to rotate the hips. You can rotate them counterclockwise. So you kind of lift your pelvis up, around, pressing the lower back into the earth, pressing it up, around, pressing it into the earth, and then bringing it up, and just continue. So you're going to feel it in the lower back as it comes up, and then you press it down. And then the other direction. Make sure you're breathing long and deep. And then inhale, exhale, and then come onto the right side of the body. You can bring your arm and rest your head on your arm so you're like a flat board. And just breathe long and deep on your your right side. So the right side, laying on your right side, opens up the left nostril. So the left nostril, if you want to fall asleep right faster, you can lay on your right side of the body like this, and that will help to open up the left nostril. That supports your more relaxed breath, more of a sort of inward breath where you're going within. So just open up that left nostril through breathing long and deep. Inhale. Exhale. Come back onto your back. Begin to rock and roll. You're going to come up. You're going to come into a frog. Froggies. So you can come standing, bring your heels together, your toes apart. You're going to remain on the balls of the feet the whole time, so your heels should be up. You're going to inhale, fold over the legs. You're going to exhale, come down like this, sort of focusing on opening up the throat as well. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale, fold over the legs. Grab the ankles. Exhale. Come into child's pose. Or come into downward facing dog. Breathe long and deep. Inhale. Exhale. And then come down, come seated onto your bottom, and bring your left hand up beside your face, and left thumb is going to cover left nostril. Breathe long and deep through the right nostril. Inhale. Hold. Spiral the energy up the center spine from the navel to the heart to the third eye, heart, navel, navel, heart, third eye, and shoot it out the top of the head and put it into the aura, the magnetic field. Exhale. Inhale both nostrils. Press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Visualize the 3 stargates, the Trinity. Exhale. And then bring your right hand up, right thumb over right nostril, and breath of fire through the left nostril. Inhale. Hold. Feel the balancing of the hemispheres. Press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Activate the pituitary gland through your imagination. Sip up more air. Exhale. Inhale both nostrils. All the way from the perineum to the top of the head. Exhale. Out the top of the head into the aura. Bring your left hand on your chest, right hand on the navel. So left on chest, left is feminine. Heart, heart, feminine. Moon, belonging, the unconscious desires, the femme consciousness, that's about imagination, creativity, child raising, taking care of our inner child, nourishing, nurturing ourselves, health and wellness. And then the right hand, the navel, right hand is the sun, the solar, the heat, right? The willpower, the perseverance, the dedication, the resilience, the kind of immense personal power that gains us access to higher energy that we use to build and construct and to shape our lives according to our vision and our will. And then begin to twist. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Inhale, stretch it all the way up. Inhale, fingers wide like antennas, 60-degree. Lift up from the armpit, stretch, pull the energy up, out into the aura, expanding the auric field. Exhale, inhale, stretch. Let the energies balance, let them sort of harmonize and equalize. Exhale. Exhale out the top of the head into the aura, moving the energy. Inhale. Exhale out the perineum, eliminate what needs to be released into the earth, like waste, letting it go. Inhale, pull up minerals from the earth, pull it through the spine like pure spring water, mountain water, bringing pure minerals, nutrients to the land for spring, to bring harvest, to bring abundance. Exhale the top of the head. Inhale. Feel each fingertip. Feel it like you think of a sort of receiving sort of electricity in the air. Feel the fingertips receiving the electricity in the air, the pure electricity coming from the thunderstorm. As animals can feel the electric current in the air through their senses. Exhale. Inhale. And then just feel the heart widening and deepening. Tuck in the chin, feel space in the back of the neck as you're lining the spine from what is below you to what is above you, and allowing that energy to cross and to move and to intersect. Exhale. Inhale. And see yourself as a thunderstorm that you can generate alchemical force. Thunderstorm brings this lightning. The electricity actually cleans the air. It cleans the air. It energizes the earth. It energizes the forest. It actually brings about a more higher current, a sort of a circuit. It completes the circuit of energy, speeding up the energy like the speed of light. The light, it brings this higher energy so that we can use it, we can utilize it, harness it to heal and restore and rehabilitate ourselves, to regenerate the land, regenerate ourselves, to regenerate the cellular makeup, to clean the DNA, to clear the genetics. Exhale. Bring the hands down. And we're just going to do a short little meditation. We're going to use Satanama. We're going to bring the thumb to each of the fingers. So thumb to index finger, thumb to middle finger, thumb to ring finger, thumb to pinky. Okay, so follow along, close your eyes. And we're going to begin now. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Now mentally chant. Keep moving the fingers. Breathe long and deep. Now whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Sa, Now speak. Sa ta na ma. 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 Sa ta Satanama, 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 Satanama. Inhale, Gyan Mudra. Hold. Let the balance happen. Exhale, relax. So for the MERKABA meditation, we're going to first start with this mantra to really let the energy rise within us, okay? So it's hum baram hum, 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 hum baram hum. And I want you to visualize the MERKABA. You're inside of it. Think of it like the Da Vinci body, and I want you to spin it through your own imagination. Your chakras are aligned, your chakras are balanced and unlocking and opening and starting to correct themselves and regenerate, rehabilitate, reorganize themselves into the alignment of a more rhythmic frequency, a more divine alchemical frequency. Through the Kriya and through the meditation, now you're going to further align through the mantra. Let the mantra just correct, rehabilitate, and create, shape your entire chakra system, 10 body system, so that it can be in this perfect alignment with the interstellar consciousness deep embedded in your DNA, your ancient DNA, and then begin to focus on the geometry of the MERKABA and see yourself in it. Focus on the upward triangle, the downward triangle, right? That is layered on top of each other, that begins to organize itself, giving this flower of life, right? The MERKABA, inside of it is the flower of life. You are the flower, you are the red rose. So see yourself as the red rose and see the MERKABA around you and see it moving. It's spherical, it's not flat. It's not a symbol on a piece of paper. It's actually spherical, it's actually fifth dimensional. And see that kind of fifth dimensional kind of movement all around you. Hum baram hum, 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 hum baram hum. Now see the gold, see the gold outlining the gold energy, like the gold in Buddha, and see yourself as this golden energy. That's craftsmanship. That's your highest creative caliber and frequency you can uphold in this physical body. So see the gold in the aura. I want you to see yourself blue. When we think of Krishna, the blue being, I want you to tap into this blue being frequency. That's the essence of creation, the essence of you. The core, we think of the core of the fire, right? It's the gas stove blue, the blue. And then we get into the yellows, oranges, and the red, the hot flaming red. So get into the cooling, soothing, healing, sort of rebirthing energy of the blue. Hum hum, bram hum, hum hum, bram hum, Hami hum bram hum. 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 Now focus on what you're using this alchemical force for. What is your your intention for direction? What is it that you seek to manifest? And remember, the manifestation, bring it to purpose. Make it about your purpose, your creativity, right? That's about expansion. That's about evolution. Alchemical force is used for evolution, renaissance, rebirth, craftsmanship, these type of frequencies, because they're very high, they're very they develop the consciousness in us. So focus now on the manifestation. It could be a vision that you've had since a child, something that gives you great joy and fulfillment, wealth and peace. That is a great mission, and it is a great miracle for a single human being to obtain that. Hami hum bram hum. 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 Hamiham Brahmam, 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 Hamiham Brahmam. Inhale. Hold the frequency in your body. It's a very high frequency. You're raising the Kundalini so that you can energize the complete chakra system, the 10-body system, 82 facets of the brain, 26 personalities, all coming into one consolidative, cohesive connection, all under your leadership, all under your responsibility. Exhale. Now, keep your eyes closed. You're going to bring your hands in a triangle at the heart. You're going to open your heart, right? Roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to use a mantra. So hold it here, and then you're going to bring it downward, and you're going to bring it to the navel, right? Below the belly button. So, me and God, God and me are one. And this goes out, not up. This is up. This goes out. It's a very important angle. So it's almost as coming straight from your third eye, your forehead, and going straight out. If there's a line that could go straight out and slightly up to the heavens, kind of like a beam. Okay. God and me and God are one. 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 Inhale. Hold and project from your third eye with the force, the power of your navel, the personal power of your navel, the heart of you, the heartfelt, the emotion of you, and the great imagination, the visualization of you. See yourself in your most craftsmanship, the wealth and the peace. That is quite an accomplishment for a human being, to have wealth and peace for their craftsmanship. It means they have true character, true courage, true creativity that was built off of the connection to their MERKABA, the connection to their consciousness. That's a lot more fulfilling than the cheap way, the theft, the charlatan, the falseness that doesn't bring us fulfillment or consciousness, but grief. Exhale. Lower your hands down, Gyan Mudra, knees, and then just take a moment in your imagination to connect with the MERKABA, the geometry of you, the web of energy, the grid of you, the spherical intelligence, the fifth dimensional movement in this third dimensional finite space. And just bring it into this third dimension, bring it into this finite space through your participation, your application, through your ability to create a routine, a lifestyle, a sort of a vision of it that you feed and you nourish through your physical movement, your spiritual movement, your 10 body movement. When the 10 body is moving around that which you wish to manifest, you are building it. We can be elusive, we can be daydreaming, where we're just kind of living in La La Land and spaced out world in this fantasy. But to actually bring it into this world, to build it, to make it into this wealth of us, that requires a bridge where we're actually alive, we're in the life force, we're actually feeling, and we're actually developing the consciousness in the physical, where we're actually aware of ourselves. A lot of people are not aware of themselves. They kind of like to just close out and to just fixate on one thing. And sometimes that fixation isn't even the right thing. it's a trap door type of thing. We need to have the vision of the owl, right? When you think of this 360, the 180, right? Head turn, or the eagle, the sight of that, the vision of that, where you can see many things. That's the awareness, that's the sensitivity, it's paying attention, so that you're more likely to have an intention for direction that's towards evolution, that's towards more of creativity and wealth and peace, that actually is of coming from your craftsmanship rather than your desperation, which is a very different frequency that we hold in our body. The desperation is that I undervalue myself, I don't feel worthy, I settle for relationships, this, that, and the other. I put up with things, I just, I don't really take control, I don't really use my voice, right? And that kind of feeling poor quality, poor life, poor this, right? And that's more of a negative, where we're looking at the negative, the complaining, the competing, the comparing, the contrasting, creating more of that drama, the drama, right, of that. And then the other path, the craftsmanship, the kind of gold frequency that we meditate upon, the MERKABA, working with your MERKABA, that's about, intention for direction is towards how can I evolve towards more creativity, how can I evolve and receive the insight of my inner child that has gifts and talents that I want to explore, that bring joy. And with joy, there's a greater heart in me, a stronger heart that makes me more courageous and a warrior. It makes me more alive in my body. So therefore, what I'm putting out is this quality of me that actually feels good. And I feel, I feel secure in me, and I don't feel so shaky and so intimidated and overwhelmed by this earth, because I am stepping into the kind of the alchemical force of me, the force to be reckoned, that's not so intimidated or shrinking or sort of scared by the mass amount of energies, the frequency wars that are going on this planet. So you have to decide what kind of game, or what kind of game you want to play with yourself, right? What kind of relay do you want with your creativity and with your manifestation, right? We can have the complaining and I'm not good enough, settling, sabotaging, the delay and distracting, which is a common path, because when it gets too heavy, that gets too intimidating, the frequency wars are just too overwhelming and just so clashy and confusing, we can get into that. And we lose a lot of our sense of self, because we're constantly in this kind of scrambled version of ourselves, which is not clear and is not directive, and there's no leadership of us. When there's no leadership, there's no responsibility. We don't take accountability, and therefore it's kind of, we feel that we're at the mercy of life, and we don't feel like we really have anything to say or do, or it's we can't do anything. And that's the negative, right? The victim, right? So the leadership of us is the responsibility, is the accountability to show up, to show out, to participate, to only you have to just to go in, right? You have to face whatever demon in you or enemy in you, addiction in you. You have to be at the one who decides to redirect your focus, to reshape and rehabilitate and regenerate your cellular DNA and create the consciousness in you. It's on your depth of breath. You can't take the breath of somebody else and try to wrap around that. It has to come from your breath. And that kind of connection makes us a lot more adaptable. We become more agile. We can work with the planet. It's workable. It's not so like fixed and like I have to just do this forever and this is the best thing I can get and nothing else is available and it's all taken, or I'm just poor, or whatever it is. You start to feel agile and adaptable. You start to understand like there's possibilities among possibilities. There's geometry within geometry within geometry, and so many sort of fluctuations and shapings that can happen, but it all happens, geometry and the shaping happens through your projection. right? Sound, the changing of your sound comes to your projection, your intention for direction, the frequencies you put in and you put out. So when we become more aware, more conscious, we have this consciousness, a raising of it. What happens is we're more aware of the frequencies that we're putting in, that we're putting out, so that we become a master scientist, and the way that we can really rewrite and reprogram and reparent the entire system, because we are basically a system. Of the body is basically a system that's been programmed. And it's in the epigenetics programming, it's in the program of society and ideology and the kind of restrictions with that economic. But the prevailing force, the overriding force is the consciousness. That's how we're able to let creativity prevail, where craftsmanship, when that becomes the sort of the real thing that's moving in you consistently, all that other pour me, pour this, pour that, it begins to kind of come into this position, this space where you begin to work with it. It becomes workable. It becomes, you know what, I can make profit off of craftsmanship or talent or gift or intelligence or insight. And you start to gain a resourcefulness, you start to gain a sort of simplicity, a sort of wealth that is very natural and very organic. And the way that it creates a space of receptivity, a space of synergy, a space of community and collaboration, and also a space of knowing what's going on and knowing who's around you, and knowing what kind of programming and belief systems that you're dealing with, and the kind of frequency that you're dealing with. Because when you connect to that frequency, you can know what's the prevailing frequency in this person, in this area, because you can have multiple areas with different frequency sort of operations going on. But in this area of business, this business partner, what is their primary prevailing frequency when it comes to business, and how can you sum that up into three, I like to say, vocabulary words. Okay, through the frequency you can sense determination. They have a lot of patience, and they have a lot of experience, right? And you can kind of feel that, or you can feel, in a love relationship, when it comes to relating to someone's feelings, what is the overall frequency of them? Escaping, gets too emotional, they run away. These type of things you can tap in, and that's what the MERKABA does. It lets you connect to the frequencies of many things within humans and with this earth, so that you can understand how you can digest it, and how you can revolve it, and how you can transmute it and transform it, and even transcend it, so that you're not scrambled and wrapped up and tied and feeling bound and feeling this and that and wasting a lot of time in that kind of place. The MERKABA is the liberation. It's the way that we're able to climb into other rooms, climb into other areas of our life, other places, to gain hunting and gaining energy, so that we can, burn through the karma, but also so we can understand how we can better maneuver through this time and space with all of the things that we're dealing with on this earth. So the more we work with that MERKABA, the more that we're going to be able to understand the transference of energy, the transmutation, the transformation, the transcendence of these type of energies, and we'll have a sensational experience of it, and through our participation. Either that be participation of character, where you have to show up and you have to be reliable, accountable, and responsible, and it's intimidating and it's overwhelming, but you really, when you do it, you gain a sort of merit, and not an inherent merit, an inner merit, that makes you naturally more respectful, and it makes you naturally more respected, because people know that you show up for yourself and you are responsible and you follow through on yourself and take care of things.
And then you have the creativity, which is you showing up and participating in that. And that's a whole nother ball game. That's about you following your heart, listening to your intuition, going where you feel evolution is. Keep going towards this creativity of this vision that you've had since you're a child, and keep building it up, keep growing it, keep attending to that garden. And the Merkaba is the way for us in the bigger picture and the longevity of ourselves to bring about the spiritual wealth, but also the physical wealth, through the clearing of, it's real a clearing thing that we just did, a clearing of the junk. I like to say the junk in us, the miscellaneous, the randomness, the whatever soul ties and bound stuff and low self-worth. It's like clearing the junk that was given to us in a way to kind of keep us in a position where we're afraid of our destiny. We don't think we have what it takes, so that we don't go for it, so that we don't challenge the system, so that we don't liberate the system, right? So as long as we're afraid of our destiny and fearful of this, that, and the other, the more we're not going to participate. We're going to sabotage. We're going to hold back. We're not going to speak our truth. We're going to close off. We're going to shut down. We're going to make excuses. Our past is going to haunt us, and we're just going to give into that. And what happens? We don't get the fullness of that energy that wants to come in and wants to not only give us the wealth, but also the peace. And the Merkaba is the way for us to, like the spinning of it, it literally will just push out the junk. It will protect you like a shield. And it will also create a magnetic field where you will attract the right people at the right time. And it will create this fertility, this sort of vortex of good health and wellness that becomes a sort of a planet, like Earth, where it can stabilize itself. It becomes so rhythmically defined and rhythmically rebirthing, I like to say, where Earth it harmonizes itself just naturally. Right, even with the toxins and the chemicals and pollution and crises and chaos and all of these things that we do to each other and the extinction of animals, Earth finds a way. It always rehabilitates, regenerates itself. And that's what the Merkaba does. It's this pure teaching of creation and how to move it into existence and how to create a mechanism that modality, a mechanism, a methodology that gives us the fruition of our own will, the fruition of our own vision, the fruition of our own imagination, that we can have an experience of God. So when we have these miracles happen or these experiences, wow, I manifested that through time, it lets you know how connected you are. It lets you know that your consciousness, the oneness consciousness, is greatly powerful. So then we start to make our choices more towards a creative lineage that is the wealth of the humanity, than just the belief system of just me, I am everyone against each other type of thing. So you start to expand that, and the greatest sort of wealth of Yogi Bhajan has said is about the legacy of it, and the ability for it to not only liberate yourself and your family and your kids and your parents and whatnot, but it to have a teaching, have a methodology, have a modality, or have a sort of pathway which other people can actually take or benefit from it and liberate their own bloodline, liberate their own family line, their own matriarchal, patriarchal lines. And that's what we talk about, the continuity of the wealth and the expansion of it, and the sort of raising it up and creating the equality of that, where people, instead of being so focused on the poor and it's all by myself, they start to focus more on the craftsmanship, the I am good enough, and the complimenting each other rather than complaining about everybody else. So in the MERKABAs, we're going to use that moving forward in the Aquarian age to really prevail and override a lot of these separation concepts of, it's brought about discrimination and hate crime, and a lot of poorness has led to crime and theft and desperation, and promiscuity is leading to sex trafficking and all these type of things. Is coming from the place of, I am separated, I am disconnected, and I am confused. I don't know what I'm doing here, but all I know is that I feel a certain type of way, an imbalanced certain type of way, and I don't have the nourishment or the clarity of my mind to make a right choice. Right? I don't have the rehabilitating, regenerating, or rebirthing connection that I require in order to make the right choice. So I'm limited, I'm fixated, I'm just caught in the suffering because I have no sensory system to these other, because I've been blocked off from rehabilitation, regeneration, rebirthing. All I know is just the relaying through the suffering of my mom and the dad and the poverty and the lack and the relationship this and settling in that and the crimes and this and the desperation and that, and I'm just going to repeat the alcoholism and so on, right? So the relaying, a lot of people are just in the relaying and don't know how to get out of that momentum. I'm just going to relay and relay and relay and relay. Even past lives we're relaying just from impulse, and that makes us quite reckless. Reckless is where we just don't want to be here, right? And the reason we don't want to be here is because we have told ourselves that it's too overwhelming, it's too intimidating, it's too daunting to actually rehabilitate, regenerate, and rebirth, because that is like a pain of liberation, like a butterfly in the cocoon, right? So we hang in the death. It's like the caterpillar knows that if it doesn't go in the cocoon, it's gonna die, right? It's gonna die. It's either you become a butterfly, you get into the cocoon, you're cracked open, you every bone in you's broken, and there's pain in that, right? Or you just die as a caterpillar through just natural death, right? So a lot of people, they just hang in death. They're like, well, I'd just rather die than go in the cocoon and have all my bones broken and everything that I am is completely destroyed, and I becoming something that it's overwhelming and intimidating to think of myself as flying, because all I know is the earth, the grounds, crawling in mud. So, a lot of people, again, with, the MERKABA is a way for us to gain that kind of insight on why we go through the cocoon, why we go through the reshaping, rehabilitation, regenerating, rebirthing experience, is so that we can understand how to reshape our own existence in this dimension, this incarnation. And the desperation comes from, again, the relaying, the death, the death frequency, which is kind of that gruesome, like grief and like suffering and like that corpse in the ground, and it's just kind of in the depression and the great not listening to himself or herself, and just not wanting to walk and be a zombie land, when there's all kinds of hungry ghosts, all kinds of devilish energies that do what? Nothing. right? It's like there's nothing there, there's no energy, there's no reality there. Reality after in the death is when it becomes a new form. When the deer dies, it decomposes in the soil, and then the soil, tosses, turns, becomes mushrooms. The mushrooms are digested, and that gives nourishment to the elk that eat the mushrooms or something like that. It's really the life of us that is the real reality. The death is just simply the threshold, the crossing through, the experience of our liberation. But the life is the sort of evolution of us, right? The life is the evolution, because you gain character, courage, creativity through that, right? So in the death, we gain this sort of shifting, this sort of motion of new energy, decomposing and transmuting these old energies, and becomes so exhilarating, so exciting, and so exalting, because we get to completely surrender to our soul. And that is a rare experience that we have when we're ready to really connect to the wealth of a higher vibrational fulfillment that not too many people have that on this earth. Not too many people have that, of that kind of wealth that also brings the peace, that also has the spiritual and the material coming together, masculine and feminine coming together, and actually reconciliation and actual harmony. We see wealth, white privilege wealth, but usually there's, relationship between man and woman is off, right? There's a whole thing about white men, wealthy men, and perversion, or black men and all real wealthy type of men, and there's perversion, which is about the discord between man and woman. This wealth is about, when we think of Krishna, Radha, Shiva, Shakti, this wealth, this lineage of thousands of years of great craftsmanship, of gold and bangles and jewelry and fine wine and beautiful gowns and music and tastes and city and commerce and socioeconomic kind of equality and people feeling good about themselves, is through masculine and feminine in this reconciliation, in this wealth together. So not too many, we don't see a lot of that in this world. We see a lot of these wealthy, dominating, authoritative men with women, wives that have no voice, or that, they are just kind of, you call a trophy, or just some object, or something that just sits there and looks pretty, right? There's a kind of rift in the relationship. It's not really a vital relationship. It's not really an energetic, sort of highly creative, equal relationship. It's more of like the man is this wealthy, and then she's just, shopping. That's kind of what we have, depiction. So that's the real wealth that we're talking about, of that we don't have a lot of on this planet, right? We don't have a lot of that, because it requires a certain kind of self-love. It requires a certain kind of sort of evolution, a sort of life, a willingness to grow, that a lot of us, it's intimidating, it's overwhelming. We're still in the childhood trauma and inner anger, and that causes us to kind of push away the reconciliation between man and woman, because we have hate towards men, and we feel betrayed, and we have hate towards women, and we feel neglected, and then it's very difficult for us to create that sort of wealth vortex where the two MERKABAs of man and woman are literally in this together, when we have all that kind of stuff going on. So that's why working with the MERKABA, as we've done, is about working with the greater wealth of ourselves, which is the reconciliation between man and woman, so that man can have, you know, the material wealth, woman can have the spiritual wealth, and then they can kind of come together and bring insight and bring a creative wealth. And a creative wealth is about the sort of inspiration and liberation and the kind of movement of humanity's self-esteem and self-worth, right? So I'll give you we'll tune out. So bring the hands together. Inhale, exhale. You're gonna sing with me. Inhale. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Sat Nam. And you can bow to yourself and thank you.